Hi, Hotep. Today my topic is after death, what? And I'm going to look at it from a metaphysical point of view. As you know, metaphysics is the philosophy of being, knowing, causation, etc., etc. So, you know, years ago, 4 years ago, I lost my son. So yesterday, I met a mom, and she'd lost her daughter last year, in fact. But she was still in organized religion system. So the only comfort she got from being, in that system was that she was told that her child was in heaven and will be forever and ever with the angels, with God, whatever. Well, I said to her that, you know, it was since my son had made the transition that I started to, research and look more deeply into things. And that's when I started to embrace metaphysics. And it was, that school of thought, the ancient African spirituality and ancient Cometian philosophy that really, the know thyself, that, you know, gave me peace of mind and, helped me to move on with my life and, to pay attention to priorities, pay attention to, what I could share with others, what I can learn from others, and what I could teach others, And it's so funny that I said to her, that, the body, there's many aspects of the body because, there's the physical body, the spiritual body, the soul body, the etheric body, etc., etc. There's many layers of the body. And I said to her, when a person dies, that body, your physical body goes to the ground and the spirit leaves the body. But I told her that the soul remains with that body until that body disintegrates or gets reabsorbed into nature. And, in the old days we were told that, we're humans having a spiritual experience. But I told her that in metaphysics, everything is the opposite way around. And for me, my reality is everything is the other way around, that we're soul beings having a physical experience. And that, like my son, I believed her daughter would come back through, like we all have. We've all been here, many and many a time before, many lifetimes, because, the soul, there's no age to a soul, and in that realm, time doesn't exist, as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. And I said to her, that, your child will come back through either yourself or through one of your children, maybe, to finish off something that they wanted to do, and she said to me, this explanation that I was giving her was one of the most feasible, because she said everything else people had said to her about our child being in heaven, she just didn't believe it. And I said, yeah, I didn't, it didn't satisfy me either. So I started to embrace, the philosophy of reincarnation. And, it's like when you have deja vu, what happens then? It's that your soul, that soul aspect of you, where there's no time, taps into an event that has happened in your past life. So there's like a time loop where you just, for that moment, you think, I've done this before, and it's because you have, because we are soul beings, you know. We're energy beings, you know. Energy cannot be destroyed. The body will go back to the ground and go back into nature, but energy cannot be destroyed. It can only change from one type of energy to another. So deja vu and you know, reincarnation. And then I started looking at reincarnation as well, and I said, you know, what is it really about? Why do we have to keep coming back and coming back? And apparently everyone who exists right now on the physical plane has had interaction with everyone else who's on the physical plane from their previous lives, in one aspect or another. So we all who are here in the body, we all know each other. And that's why sometimes, you know, when you meet somebody, a total stranger, and you either feel, you know, enormous animosity for that person, and or you feel enormous warmth and love for that person. It's all because your soul recognizes that person from the previous lives that we've had, the previous experiences with that soul. And you know, when we come back in this body, we continue that relationship, or we continue that purpose with that person. So you realize, you get to know whether it's a friend of yours or it's a foe. So, because I wanted to understand everything there was about death or leaving this body and what happens, you know. And I wanted to know about, you know, the oversoul. And I found that the oversoul is your higher mind, which is based around your pineal gland, you know, your higher mind, the oversoul. And your oversoul, the oversoul is, you know, the God mind, your higher mind. And then, so there's many oversouls, you know, that makes up, you know, that higher realm. And then out of the oversoul, there's groups of there's you know, soul groups, which are, I've learned that it's members of your immediate household or your extended household, your cousins, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters. These are souls that have always been with you in one capacity or another. That's always been with you, not always as your brother. If it's your brother, sometimes it could have been your uncle or your dad in past lives. You know, your sister, your mother. It could have been your daughter in a past life, but they're all your relative group. And also, I wanted to understand the concept of soulmates and, you know, twin flames and stuff like that. And I found that your soulmate is a soul that you've had a close interaction with in your previous life, or your previous lives. And when we come back on this dimensional plane, and you meet that soulmate again, and you can have up to 40 soulmates in your soul group. A soulmate doesn't have to be a sexual relationship. It could just be like a close friend, or it could be, you know, someone that you know, they just mean well for you, and it's because of your previous relationship with them. And so when you come back here, you just continue that relationship. You just feel a warmth, understanding, you know, comradeship. And you know, wherever you've left off, that's where you continue. Then you've got like your twin flames, and you know, I wanted to understand that concept as well. And I found that, you know, the twin flame is about, you know, a soul, which duality comes into this, because all of us all things in existence has duality in it, dualism, male and female energies. And twin flame comes about, manifests from the soul being split into a masculine energy and the feminine energy, which manifests on this plane as a female with the feminine energy predominantly, and then the male with the masculine energy predominantly. And I do embrace this concept of twin flames, and knowing that there's balance in the universe, and I don't know, it's to do with love, because love is the highest frequency in the universe. And I do embrace this and this philosophy, and I just had to share it with you, and also with that mom yesterday, so that she knows that her child will come back, through that DNA link, come back through, and they're not just sitting. Your loved ones who have passed, made the transition, they're not just sitting there and playing a harp or something like that. Life is about nature. Nothing in the universe is ever wasted, and it's a continual cycle. We've always been, we always will be. And this time of enlightenment, this 2012, is the time to get to know yourself better, get to understand, who you are, why you're here, why we have certain links with certain people and certain animosities with others. And to, with my son, at his funeral, I was that, I never cried at all, and I don't know if it was shock, or if by showing emotion I felt like someone was gaining gratification from seeing me and my unit unhappy. But once I saw, at his funeral, I just thought, what have I learned from this experience? What am I going to learn? What am I going to take away from the transition of my son? And how can I put it into good use? How can I, and prepare a way? Because even back then, when I was in organized religion, I did believe that we keep coming back. I did believe that my son would be coming back, and I think we need to, I had to prepare my mind and my life for this belief that I embraced, and I embrace it more so now. And I just I know as we get older, some people say they've never lost anyone in their household or their extended family, but I want to say, as we get older, the more we'll experience death and the transition of our loved ones or people we have a high regard for. And we need to have clarity of mind about the process, what's really occurring here. I believe we're brought here by nature, and you're taken away, you make your transition because of nature. And this is a continual cycle that has always been happening from the beginning. And we've always been going and coming, going and coming, going and coming, and hence deja vu. That's why we experience deja vu. So the last point I wanted to mention is about, talk about the chakras. And there's a past life chakra behind your ears, behind both your ears. There's the past life chakra. And sometimes when I meditate, I use the green adventuring crystal, and here it is. Okay, and I'll just meditate with it in my hand, and this is to tap into the memories of your past lives, and for focus with your higher self as well, to receive information. So that's a green adventuring, and that's why I like the color green, because it signifies your past lives. And obviously you need to know where you've been, or to understand the process, in order for you to know where you're going, how to plan ahead, and how to go forward with life. Because bereavement is a major thing in it's really hard. I mean, and you can never, I can never forget my son, and like I feel like he's with me every day. I feel that he strengthens me to continue with life, and whatever I do, I always think about him, and if I'm making him proud of me, and would he be pleased with what I'm doing, and how would it best serve the universal consciousness of us all, for enlightenment and for our ascension. So I guess that's what I wanted to say today. Yeah, it's a bit it's about coping with bereavement and moving on. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for giving me your time, and I'll see you again, same time, same place. Peace and longevity to you and your loved ones. Thank you.